In the morning sunshine, I'm sitting here. Huh. Kind of looks like the camera's pointing that way. But anyway, in the morning sunshine, eating 3 eggs over easy with salt and pepper and a cup of coffee. If you're wondering, uh, these little red cups here they're red solo cups. And they got potting soil. And what we do is there's a cardboard box and it's in a trash bag. And then we can just push that down in there and set these on it. So the cardboard box is protected by a layer of inside of the trash bag. It creates like a little bucket or bowl or whatever in case water gets down in there. And we start plants here, and for our indoor garden, but also for outdoor gardens. And we have various different seeds and things. We got things growing here. But I guess today's conversation is more about what do you do when you don't have more than $2 in your bank account? When you have $2 in your bank account, there's not much you can do with that. You can't really go to the grocery store because it's going to take a lot more than $2 in gas to get you to the grocery store and back. And, I don't think anything at the grocery store costs less than $2 these days. Maybe I could get a dozen eggs. I don't know. But for me, my eggs come from the chicken coop outside. I went out there this morning and brought in 3 eggs. There would have been 4, but apparently one of the chickens broke it and ate it. And that's part of the problem I've had lately with some of my chickens. The main culprit that was breaking and eating the eggs, I picked up that chicken and I went and put it in the little hoop house. Chicken. It's a little hoop house, but it's got chicken wire and a door. And I put that chicken in there with some food and water and closed the door and latched it and left it in there overnight. And I was able to go out there this morning. I guess I was out there maybe 6 a.m. or so. And there were 3 eggs. And those are the 3 eggs that I'm eating. Although I do have in there a whole nother bowl full of eggs that I've been getting over time. But one thing I've noticed is when you have chickens and the chickens are happy and they feel safe and they're not stressed out, they will give you a lot of eggs. And not only will they give you eggs, but eventually you will end up eating a chicken or two. Especially the ones that, when they get to a point to where they're not producing and they're just consuming, then, you figure out which ones those are and they become meat chickens. So for me, I love frugally in many, many, many different ways. I like eggs. I love eggs. Mm. 3 eggs in the morning is enough to get me through my morning of working here on the homestead and doing different projects. Usually, I get the munchies, but I tend to not just munch. I tend to not, just come in and, just randomly find things to munch on and sit on the couch or anything like that. And I normally just stay outside. When I do come in, it's because, I want a cup of coffee. That's, I guess, for me, whenever I want the munchies or have the munchies, I go for a nice cup of coffee. I know I shouldn't, but for the longest time, I had cut sugars out. I wasn't putting sugar in my coffee. I wasn't putting sugar in my tea. I wasn't eating sweets, no candy. Anything that was naturally sweet, I tend to stay away from. I had cut sugars way out of my diet. And I had cut salts back a lot as well. Well, I stopped that with the salts. I firmly believe I need the salts. My body, can handle salts better than it can, the sugars. But eggs, right? Eggs are an animal product. So when you're eating your eggs, you're basically on a carnivore diet. So in my morning times, whenever I get my eggs, eggs and coffee. Of course, I drink water. First thing I do when I get up is drink water. I feel like my body needs the extra water. And then I go for the coffee and some eggs. Mm. Mm. Eggs are good. Eggs are filling. They give you the protein you need. They're not fattening. I hear the chickens out there acting up. I was considering doing a live stream, but my history of doing live streams has not been very, very well or very good. Mainly because I didn't understand how to operate the darn thing and make the live stream work correctly. And once I got one started, I couldn't figure out how to stop it. Mm. Yeah, I love my eggs. Mm. One way to live frugal and to cut down your expenses is eat the different things that you can grow or raise or forage for or go out and hunt or fish for. Like right here. These are acorns. We got a lot of oak trees, and we have a lot of acorns on the property. Not only that, but at my work, around the parking lot, we got a bunch of acorn trees. But I tend to not pick up those acorns because that's an industrial park. And I know for a fact in the industrial park, there have been spraying for, like insecticide sprays and stuff like that. So I tend to stay away from all those acorns there. But here on my property, we got all kinds of oak trees with acorns. We've got walnuts. We've got hickory nuts. There's some persimmons out there on a tree that are turning orange. And back this other way, we got another persimmon tree down there. But I don't like persimmons. They're edible, but ugh. I got to come up with a way to utilize those persimmons that suits the palate. Anyway, I'm rambling. I was going to talk about living thrifty without money, the best that you can, on the homestead. But my train of thought's just not here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop this. My train of thought is just not here.